Alright guys, what's going on? This is Danny. Wanted to take a second to show you this backpack. This is actually a backpack I used whenever I was a kid. Dude's been put up. This has been put up for a while. I think I got this backpack in 1988 or 1999. I'm actually planning on a backpacking trip here coming up in just a couple of weeks. And I want to take a second and see if I can't set the camera up and maybe go through this pack a little bit, talk about some of the contents of it. And I'm going to cut this. I don't really have the ability to edit videos right now, or at least splice together videos. But I'm going to go get I still got the sleeping bag that I used to use, and we'll talk about this pack a little bit, and this will be like an outdoor content video I'll put together for you. All right, so stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm outside. It's a little bit before all the kids get home. It's actually a Friday. It's the day before my birthday, and just trying to take advantage of kids not playing around everywhere. We might have a dog come get on the screen here in a minute, and that's cool, whatever. But wanted to show you a bit about the pack. So one of the things that I recently had to do, I had to replace this little cinch thing right here. I had a grill cover that was destroyed, and so I took the one off of my grill cover and replaced it with this one. This one used to be black. The grill cover had a white one. It is what it is. But that allows me to kind of get into the top. Now there's a couple of things in the top here that I think were just left in here for storage, and they're two-person mess kits. One of them is basically just a pot and a pan. One of them is a pot and a pan and 2 cups and like a couple of plates or something like that. I remember getting these with my wife at some point back when we were camping together prior to having kids. And my oldest kid is about to turn 21, so that tells you kind of how old those things are. But those, again, were added after the fact. That's all that's in the top section. Remember, this is something I used to use when I was Boy Scouting. So the next section actually has my old Boy Scout mess kit. And now, if I remember correctly, this used to have a strap on it, and it became, dislodged, whatever. But it's the real deal, and it's got the Boy Scout emblem on it. Hopefully you can make that out right there, but I'll do a video on this at some point just because I think it's cool. So there's that. That was all that was in that. Now this section right here to the left actually had a Boy Scout manual or Boy Scout handbook in it. That's where I used to keep mine. Actually, this one had my younger brother's name on it, so shout out to him. I don't remember if I stole his or if he used the pack. Like, he's a couple years younger than me. He may have used the pack for a scouting trip and took mine out and put his in. I don't have a clue, but there's that. This section right here, this section right here is a hoot. So a couple things. So first, and this is going to be another thing I do a video on. That is actually a little stove that uses what we used to call heat tabs, and it's got a little box of heat tabs in there, heat tabs, and you'd light them on fire. You'd take these out, put one right in the center where that circle is, light it on fire. You can set your mess kit pan on top. And although I don't think I've ever used mine, I remember being on campouts where we used some of my buddies and fried bacon and different things on them. So we'll do a video on that at some point. So apparently, as a Boy Scout, you're supposed to have paper. I don't know, write a note or something. Take a note. It's got a little bit of line in it. Some, I guess to lash together some poles, maybe to build a kit. This one is the one that made me absolutely laugh. It's got a little flashlight in it, but look at the batteries. That battery is is roached, dude. It's it's completely corroded. But at least I think I was smart enough to take the batteries out of the light, so we'll see if the light works at some point. Aluminum foil, I guess to cook on, wrap a fish in. I don't know. I don't remember. Still going. This knife, which the retaining spring for that the largest blade broke at some point. Okay, so this blade just kind of flips back, so I actually had to bend the blade to get it to lock in place, but it had two other blades on it. Okay, and I actually have a scar on my finger. You probably can't see it, but from when I was like 8 years old, where this knife, the big blade actually closed on my finger, and I didn't need stitches, but it was close. So that was the first knife I ever owned, knife of my childhood, and it is apparently a Ranger. So I was tickled to find that. Have a compass, and this one appears newer. So that I don't know if that was my childhood compass or not. I can't remember. I don't think so. I think my childhood compass was just a round compass. You know, I don't think it was able to open and close. I think I got that later. A couple of other things. Some waterproof match holder. It acts a little bit strange. You actually screw it from the top and it slides down. It had a couple of little mini bungee cords. And then that is a little, it was egg sinkers. There's two egg sinkers, one hook, and I don't know, probably 8 foot of line, 16 foot of line in there to make a homemade fishing pole out of. We actually used to do that when I went to Boy Scout camp. We would take 6-8 foot of line, egg sinkers, and a hook, find worms, and tie that all to a stick and see who could catch the most fish with their homemade fishing pole. You know, we always took our fishing gear with us, but that seemed more fun. And not only that, we would, on hot dog day for lunch, we would save, you got 2 hot dogs, we would save one and go out and use the hot dog for bait. I remember me and my buddy Eric would do that. So another little bungee cord. So that had 3 bungee cords. That had a lot of stuff in it. So I'm going to kind of put that stuff back. So yeah, super excited to find all this. Most of this stuff I'm gonna leave in here. I'm gonna do something with these lights. I hope the weather isn't a problem. The last section is this section right here, the big section in the center, and it's got some things. Apparently, I was supposed to take a backpacking trip with a buddy of mine that never came to fruition, but it's got an old Walmart bag in it with a bunch of Food Lion matchbooks. Can't make this stuff up. And it's got a couple cans of Sterno. Alright, it looks like never been opened. Wait, it gets better. There's another can of Sterno. There. You can't go anywhere without some TP, right? And that's probably 30-year-old toilet paper right there. Another thing is Sterno. Apparently I was a hobo. This nylon cordage right here, my dad used to get this where he worked, and he had it laying around everywhere, and apparently I got some and stuck it in my pack, and I've had it ever since. So Dad still got it. Another little roll of it. And that stuff again is good for lashing, whatever. I had some really heavy, these are not recommended for backpacking, really heavy stakes, and apparently there's 8 of them in here. And some more bungee cords. Apparently I was a bungee cord hoarder. This is a camping candle, but yeah, that dude is no more good. As some of my coworkers would say. More cordage. Alright, there is an old box of waterproof matches. And then this is the coup de grace right here. rolling in as I drop it. That is the Sterno camp stove. And Sterno by itself is really cool, but you know, you can hold a pan over it. You know, you can use it for heat, but and you can definitely use it to cook over. But then you have to hold it, unless you got one of these stoves right here that will basically act like that heat tab stove I showed you earlier. You basically like it's in that picture right there. You can put your can of Sterno in there, and it's got something. You can put your pan over the top of it, and you can go to town cooking. Okay, now the other thing. This section right here, I used to put my 2-man pup tent, my Scout pup tent in it. I don't guess it was truly a Scout tent, but that was what I put in there. But it was I couldn't put the poles in there with it, so I had to put the poles in my tent, in my backpack, and I mounted my poles vertically because the section of the top, the floor of the top, actually has a hole in it. Let me grab this. You can kind of hopefully see it up in there. So I have since bought another tent, and hopefully I can set that back up like it was. I've since bought another tent. It's a 2-man pup tent. It's a little better. I got it off eBay. It was like an $80 tent, so I'll do a video review of it at some point. And just barely, I was able to take the tent poles out of it, fold it in such a way that I was able to distribute the bulk of it, and I was able to just barely get it back in the same pocket. So super stoked about that. And then I've got the poles in here in the original bag, and it's got some lightweight aluminum stakes that came with it. But that is going to be it for this video. All right, I am going to do another video where I'm going to talk a little bit about these things right here. So stay tuned for that. I do a couple of videos. I went and looked for my sleep bag earlier, and it's again from my youth, and I couldn't find it. So I'm gonna be on the lookout for that. I'm probably gonna go tear the house up here in just a minute to find it. But like I said, I haven't used this backpack in probably 30 years, but I'm about to take it on a camping trip, and we're gonna use this dude. So y'all leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think about it. Sorry it's so long. It's a pretty long video, but it's pretty neat to be able to go back through this stuff. So again, hit that thumbs up button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. You know, be watching for future hiking videos and future videos explaining some of the stuff that's in these things. And guys, that's going to do it for today. Peace out. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.